Welcome to the best place to live, a farm. Sometimes there's trouble in paradise. Our septic tank backed up. We went on a trip to work. Is that a vacation or is it a getaway? I hadn't figured that one out. We went somewhere, we stayed there, we didn't do anything but eat, sleep, and work. We left the room maybe twice, but we're back. We let the septic tank dry out a little bit. I did some recontineering and me and the kids dug out around it this morning. I'm gonna show you what we found. I'm not a septic man. I was hoping it was an easy fix, but it looks like we had some roots going down in between. So we're not gonna mess with it anymore right now because that's not my forte. I'm not good at that, and I don't really wanna mess with it any more than I have to. Megan got on the horn and called somebody. They're gonna come out and look at it for us. But we already rented the mini X. So we're gonna make the most of the opportunity, and we're gonna run a water line from the house to the barn. We're also going to set up a wash rack for the girls so that they can easily wash their show cattle. So join us today, and I couldn't do live television. So join us today as we put in a line for water to the barn and a wash rack for the show cattle. This is probably not a good idea, but I did it. We had some faucets put in on the side of the house where they were old and busted, and we were gonna get them to run the water line. If you don't know, plumbers are stupid expensive. It's bad, it's bad. They were here for the whole day. I said, just tell me what I owe you right now. It was bad. So we said, we'll do that project on our own later. When I said later, I meant a couple days, and here it is, probably half a year later. I just had this dug almost under the footers, and so this might turn out bad. We might find something we don't want to see here, but we're going to take this off and check it out right now. Oh, it ain't bad at all. It worked out perfect. I dug it out, and as you can see, I got close to footer down there. Don't do that. That's probably not smart, but I did it. We're going to dig us a line out to there, out to right there-ish, and we're going to run a line over to the barn. We're going to check our depth to make sure that we're at 24 inches so that the line doesn't freeze and that we can drive over the buried line. I'm 6 foot tall. That's where it was. We're good. I've more or less got the line run from the house out to the fence, except for this little piece right here. I'm gonna have to dig that out, but that's not a big deal. So we've got it out to here, and then we're gonna run from where the mini X is right now down the fence row, probably to where that gate's standing up against the fence right there. The feedlot, that's what it's called. Man, this old brain. Now I got a thing going on right here. So this is gonna be a T. And if you look right there, it comes right there. I don't exactly know how I'm gonna dig that out yet, but we'll figure it out. There's probably a way smarter way to make this T-cut out right here, as I just came down right there, as you can see, and then I just came sideways. Now, what I end up doing is it'll put dirt on both sides, but I don't think it's that big a deal. I'll just come over here whenever I get my pecs run and just push that in there first. So my hole will be a little bit bigger here, but I don't think it'll make that big a deal. Our trench is done, the length of the fence. Now we got to do some thinking. So what we have to figure out here is, where do I want the frost-free hydrant? Might just take some of that off right there, and we will have the option to move it closer. I don't want to get too close to my post though, because I don't want them weaker, because I'm not really going to pack this back after I get done. And I'm just trying to just knock off a little bit off the side over here. I'm just kind of scraping it with the edge of that bucket, because I don't want to dig and make a big hole and make a mess. So I'm just scraping just a little bit. I'm going to pick up what I got out, get out of the way. Uh-oh, that's what happens when holding it with your knees goes wrong. Okay, so I don't know, that might have took it over 6 inches over there, if you can tell that. And I think that'll be good. That gives us a little bit of leeway. The hard part's done. Now all we gotta do is run the pipe in and attach it and then backfill. Day 2, it was not supposed to rain last night, but it rained. So everything's wet. We're gonna start putting PEX in, and we're gonna start putting our frost-free hydrants in. We got everything we needed except the stuff we forgot. I got all of our fittings for the hydrant, got all of our fittings to make our tea, and I did not consider that the length was about 250 foot, so that I would need the, so I'm gonna need some things, some fittings to put together the lengths. Ooh, that's hard to say, lengths. It sounds like you're saying links, L-I-N-K-S, but you're really saying L-E-N-G-T-H-S, lengths. Sounds like you're saying links with a lift. Length. Okay, so I'm gonna need some pieces to put together the stretches of PEX pipe that aren't long enough to reach to the house. So at some point I'm gonna have to go back to town and get those. I'm gonna try and hurry and get as much done as possible before they get back to get the Mini X, so I can backfill with it, use their diesel, and all right, we're gonna get going. It's not, I don't guess there's any extra pieces in the box in there. You got to buy all the fittings and stuff for it. So there's our frost-free hydrant. Other videos that I've seen says to use the T-post. This actually says to use a center block to put underneath it, and I think I'm going to do that instead. The other idea is that maybe somebody ties an animal off to the hydrant, that the T-post will keep it in place, you know, instead of pulling. I really like this idea of putting the block underneath it. Might do both. Actually, I think I will do both. When you're doing this stuff, do it dummy run. Make sure everything fits. Put it on. Don't clamp it down tight. Just make sure that you got the right fittings. I don't know how many times I've come from the store and had the wrong stuff and then had to go back. Probably going to happen this time at some point. We want to make sure our hose is going the right direction. We want this side right here pointed towards the barn, because that's the way that the hose is going to go predominantly. We don't want it backwards and the hose pulling this way. So you need to consider that stuff. We're going to put our fitting on to see where we need to start and turning it to get it to stop and all that kind of stuff. We will try that now. Okay, we got that one figured out. We're going to put us some pipe dope on there. Can you see what that is? You don't even need a wrench for these elbows. There's no turning or carriage head. What do you call it? Let me know in the comments. Turning it. And look at there. Even after my dry run, I messed it up. It's a little bit off. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal because the PEX will bend. So we'll put it in there and make it work. Now, we're going to do our second fitting. That's one of these little boys. Well, I guess this side's a boy, isn't it? It's a 3/4 inch. All of our PEX is 3/4 inch. These fittings are 3/4 inch. It's really convenient. Now this one is, so I need to go get my wrench. I don't want to tighten it down too tight, but I want it tight on there. There it's tight. This little thing right here is for if you put it under concrete, you know, it's a bleed off valve, so you don't encase it, so that whenever you close it and the pin comes down, it purges any excess water. We don't need that for us because we're going to have gravel around it and it's going to go into the ground. Something else I want to be mindful of is my distance off of the fence, so that whenever I'm mowing and planting maybe a flower bed or something like that, it'll look aesthetically pleasing. Think about it. This is all going to be in eye shot, and it's going to be over a span of a length. So if I've got one here and another one here, it's going to throw my lines off whenever I mow or whenever I garden or whatever. It might not be that big a deal to you, but that kind of stuff drives me nuts. Our frost-free hydrant's going to be facing this way. The spigot part of it is. So we are going to put our block down and put our post in with that in mind. Now I'm going to put my center block up against this. I'm tempted to put the flat side facing up, but I'm afraid that it might break under pressure at some point, so I'm going to put it the way that you'd lay it on a house or whatever. And I'm not super worried about it being level. I'm just kidding, I am. This is what it looks like down here in the hole. Something else to consider is your pipe level straight up and down? It could move if it was just sitting there like that, but remember, we're going to wrap that wire around it. I'm going to take this end out so that we're not fighting this thing unrolling while we're putting it on here right now and putting everything together. Whenever we get it attached and tied on, then we will open it up all the way. We've got our collar. We're going to put it on there, and then we're just going to slide our fitting over it and crimp it down with our tool. Our fitting's on here, right here. We're going to put this on. Now I'm going to juggle and try to get these crimpers. I've already dropped the camera once doing this. I'd love for the girls to be helping me, but apparently they need an education. Okay. I'm juggling. Here we go. So, I think that did it. Let's see. Boom, it's on. How cool is that? Oh yeah, man, that's the bee's knees. So, we've got this on. Now we're gonna wire our hydrant onto our T-post. It's on here good enough that I can maneuver a little bit. I'm gonna wrap the rest of my wire around it and get it good and tight where I really want it at. You probably don't need as much gravel in the hole as I'm putting in there, but I'm trying to overdo it just a little bit so that there's less of a chance we have to dig this up in the future. Got our first pipe done. She's down there holding the PEX for me so we can stretch it out good and it don't curl up. I'm taking special care not to get anything in the end of the PEX pipe, like any rocks or anything like that. and I'm just gonna shake it out, even if I don't think I got anything in there, because you never know. Just to make my life easier, I'm gonna go ahead and put my collar on this end and then take the slack out when I put my T-joint on. Right there's where our hydrant needs to be. We got this one done in, Maggie and I did, and it twisted on us a little bit, but guess what? We're not gonna worry about it, are we, Maggie? All right, let's go put our T-fitting in the middle. We are in the T-zone. This is the length of the fence. This is the line to the house. We're gonna pull our slack in together, clip the line, put it on, put our collars there, clamp them down, head towards the house. Get a smiley face. Now we're going to do the fun part, which is testing it out. We're going to go and turn on a hose that we've got hooked up to the back of the house and run it through our lines. We've got them up. I think we're going to go check the other one to make sure it's up. And if water comes out and everything's good, we're going to start burying line. All right, we've got all the hoses turned on. We've got us a water hose here, and we've got our PEX pipe and mags. Oh, this is going to be funny. It's going to get all over me. Pretty well flat. I've got a aerator that I'm gonna take and run over it. It's one of them that you fill up with water and run around. I did have, well, actually, look right there. I did have a big old roller, and whenever I was seeding last fall, it came to pieces on me. That might be in another video, but I've got all this done. I'm gonna go with the aerator. This right here, I might just rake this out. If you look over here by the house, I still got a pile there. The reason being is we still got to come under the foundation of the house and tie into the water line, actually. We're going to leave this for time being. If the people come back and get the Mini X, then this ain't that big a deal. I can take the bucket and scoop that in, kind of work this around over here. So we basically got the outside length done right there, all the way up to the house, and it's gonna settle. You see that right there? But we'll work that out later. We can get some fill date or whatever. She's getting this rolled down, and this is the end of day 2 for us. I'm gonna go and get the stuff to tie it into the water lines under the house, and we're fixing to start that in the morning. No, in the afternoon. We're gonna AI cows in the morning, so in the afternoon. Long day of doing other stuff. I forgot to film whenever we started digging through this, so I'm gonna show you what we got going on. We're already through. We came under the foundation here, and we're pulling the pipe up to the inside. The girls are in there, they're pulling it through for me. Day 3 is a complete bust. Unless you count spider webs all over you, dirt and frustration as making progress. I actually did get the PEX pipe under the foundation here, and got it pulled up through, but I made a mistake. I just came under the house and I looked at the pipe and I just thought, okay, it's plastic, it's gonna be PVC. Let me find the measurement on it. I don't wanna chance it. I think that it's 1/2 inch, but I'm gonna make sure. It was 1/2 inch. I found where it said 1/2 inch. And I sent Megan to get it. She got exactly what I told her to get. She got me 1/2 inch PVC pipe. She got me all the fittings and all the everything to make it work. Well, the problem is it wasn't PVC, it was CPVC. So we've got our pipe under here. We're going to make another trip to town to get CPVC. And we're going to not be frustrated about it. So here's day 3 coming to an end. Look at that beautiful moon shining. Just joking, it's me plumbing in the dark. This morning I was gonna get up and it was gonna be our final day of working on our water line project. I said, Megan, you take a break from all the kids, run, get these parts for me. She calls and says, I've got a bunch of houses to sell and I'm not gonna have time to come back home. So, waited all day. She ended up getting home about 8 o'clock tonight. She missed a part. So I just had to go back to town. It's another hour. It's almost 9 o'clock at night here. We got church in the morning, but we're gonna get done tonight. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take our 3/4 shark bite. We're gonna tear the sack in case it's the wrong piece. That way we can't return it. We're gonna slip it on. So there's our other piece. It is shark bit. It is connected. Basically, if you've ever seen a Chinese finger trap, imagine the pecs being your fingers and the shark bite being the Chinese finger trap. All-purpose primer and cement for the pipe. I'm gonna go ahead and cut some of these pieces of CPVC and get them all ready. Man, you should see some of the stuff that I do. So we've got our piece together right there. So the next thing is we're gonna go over to where we're gonna tie in on the water line and we're going to put the T on. We got a shut-off valve right here. We're gonna shut that off. And we got our water line cut. Primer, cement. Here's this. Please fit, sir. Thank you for your kindness. Top piece. We are going to tie in our pecs and 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Okay, y'all can turn the electricity on. Number 2, not leaking. Now I still got to bury this water line, so I'm gonna go get the tractor and we're gonna push this pile of dirt over it. If you haven't noticed, things have not been going according to plan or timeline. Cut to the grilled cheese. Okay, that was my actual dinner today. That's how the day's been going all day long. So the tractor won't start because the battery's dead. We're losing power somewhere. It's a continuing issue. I haven't used it much. You saw in the other video, whenever I don't use it, I gotta jump it, and it's so dead now that it's just not working today. So we're gonna stop fighting it. We're gonna go inside. I'm gonna get a shower. I'm gonna eat and go to bed, get up. I'm gonna go worship God in the morning. And we're gonna go into day 5 of the water line tomorrow. That's pretty bad whenever the automatic light says, no, you're done. Have you ever just been so over it, whatever it is, that you just can't even think straight? Say you're almost a week into putting together a 2-day project and it's late at night and you're frustrated. You gotta be up early in the morning. You hadn't eaten supper. You're dirty. It's cold. Just not thinking straight. Say maybe you're putting in a water line. Well, we've all had those days. And last night, my brain just went to my normal tools. I thought that I needed to get the tractor going so I could backfill over my hole, but I didn't. You know why? They still didn't come and get the Mini X yet, so I have it. I'm just gonna go start it up and backfill. we're completely done. That scared me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you, that scared me. Thanks for being with us for our big disaster that turned out really good. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff, then come back here by subscribing. Go hit the bell, that'll give you a notification whenever we put out a new video. Don't forget to like the video and leave me a comment on what we did wrong and what you would do different. If you see anything that was, if you see anything that you want to talk about, just talk about it in the comments. Please, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Invite your friends. Tell them how cool we are. Thanks for being with us today.